Hello, race fans. Jimmy McNerney coming to you from the third floor studio here at Turfway Park in beautiful Florence, Kentucky. We have a wonderful race week scheduled for you here at Turfway. Kicking off tonight, we have a Pick 5 carryover in race 1, carryover of better than $6,600 in that 50-cent base bet. The Pick 5 here at the track is on races 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Also, tomorrow here at the track kicks off our Pride Weekend at the track. Pride Weekend on Friday and Saturday at the track. Also, Fan Appreciation Night, we'll let you know, is next Saturday, March 30th. Closing day on March 30th, we'll have a TV giveaway and also mystery voucher giveaway. You can win anywhere from $200 to $500 on those voucher giveaways. Now, for this week, in addition to the Pride Weekend here at the track, we'll have our normal Rockin' Friday here at the track. Tomorrow, DV8 will be in the house. And then following up on Saturday, Girls Night Out, acoustic music from Nick Netherton, and plenty of drink specials on that day as well here at the track. Of course, on Ladies Night, those seltzer buckets will be on sale as well. Now, also, I'd like to let you know once again about that Pick 5 carryover tonight. Now, that starts in race 1 here in just about 49 minutes as opposed to a 50-cent base bet. You can head on over to social media for my picks and also to tvg.com. They'll have my picks for the evening as well. Well, let's get into the card. The first of 8 races up here in just about 48 minutes. We're talking that Pick 5. It does start in race 1, a filly and mare 2 and 6 months claiming event to go a mile. And in the opener, there is a scratch of the 2 graduate honors. Now, all the early money currently right now, Brittany's Beauty was 4-1 on the morning line. Currently 2-1 favorite. Opened up a couple hours ago when I got online and looked. She was 8-5, but is 2-1 right now. I'm going to use her in here, Brittany's Beauty, but I like Tenacious Sally just a little bit better. I thought she would be a little shorter price than she is right now, but I'm sure those odds will come down as she is a 6-time winner, and 5 of those 6 wins have came right here at Turfway. Now, she crushed a field of non-winners in 6 months. 2 back. The time before, she ran in the exact same condition as she was skipping a condition. She was second, just beat, came back and run out the TV screen. Then he put her in a starter allowance. She was 4th, beaten 5 lengths, but that was a respectable turnout that day. And I'd look for her to keep on improving here and go back to her winning ways. I think she's found a pretty soft spot. She's my top pick in the opener. Now, number 7, Brittany's Beauty is my second choice in here. She just missed last start at this level. Kind of made a premature move at the mile distance, today's distance, but hopefully O'Hare may have learned something from that, and he'll wait to hit that go button just a tad bit longer. Now, number 5, Irish Inspired. I'm going to use her in my third pick. My Pick 5 ticket, I'm only going to use the top 2 horses, number 6 and 7. But number 5, Irish Inspired, she figures in here. She was the beaten favorite last start against Brittany's Beauty, but she was bothered at the start a little bit. She did make a bit of a run, but if she could go back to her races 2 and 3 starts back, and I think she fits here. She'd be on the ticket, I think, at least 6-1 on the morning line. 6-7-5 for me in the opener. I'm only using 6-7 in the Pick 5. Now, race number 2 is the second leg of the Pick 5. It starts the early Pick 4. 14% takeout on our Pick 4 is one of the lowest in the country on that Pick 4 takeout. That starts in race 2. We'll be back on set later on with that ticket. But now in the Pick 5, I think you can probably single in here, go pretty short on number 3, Little Miss Amy. She's my top pick in the race. What I liked about her start, two back coming off that long layoff. Sippy took her to Oaklawn, and she was 8th, beaten 7 lengths, where she stalked the pace a little bit. She did show a little speed and fade, but that was against much, much tougher. He stretched her out last start to a mile and 16th. Had an awkward beginning, was set the pace and hooked the entire way, and she faded. Now she drops to the lowest level of her career tonight, $5,000 level. She couldn't have picked a softer spot. There's one other horse dropping in here, which is my second choice, number 2, Naimu's Treasure, for the Terrabia Farms and Grant Hoffman's. Now, this filly was 4th, beaten 5 lengths last start to Lucy's Town. And Blueberry Shine was second. That's another one from the Contreras barn. We'll see in here on Saturday. But the time before, she was 3rd, beaten 2 lengths. Pretty good race. I think a repeat of one of those 2 efforts. She can turn the tables on the favorite. But I think Little Miss Amy will be tough to beat. She's a daughter of Big Brown. I'm putting her on top of the 2, Naimu's Treasure. And for third, I'm going to go for number 7, Carolina Reaper. She was the easiest kind of winners last start when stretching out to the mile, but that wasn't a great field at all. She turns back to 6 furlong distance, and I think she fits for a piece of it. 3-2-7 for me in race 2. Now the third race is a filly and mare starter. Now, but this starter is a starter for horses who have started for 5,000 in just their last 5 starts. Now usually we see this kind of race where it's started for 5 in the last 2 calendar years. But this race has been feeling pretty good here at the track, and has been a good competitive sequence of races every time we've ran them, and people have been wagering on them. And I think this is another one of those races where it's competitive. I think you can spread a number of ways, but the horse I do, if the one horse had a little better post position, I probably would use this horse a little higher up my ticket. But Lusty Get Your Gun, I'm going to draw a line through her last race. She's better than that. She's a 9-year-old mare, was a 17-time winner, 6 of those coming here at the track. Now, she's only been worse than third one time in her life over the poly track, and that was her last start. And I don't know what to make of that race, but I just think if maybe she wasn't still be able to perform well, that Sandman would probably drop her in for a little bit of an easier race, an 8 or even a nickel. But Color Me Pretty's a really, really good, talented mare who's been crushing the starter ranks since last fall in Indiana. And I'm going to draw a line through that one. If she goes to her last race or even the 2 starts back, they won't handle her here. There's enough speed in the race. It's going to set up perfectly for her, and she's well drawn to the outside at the short distance. I like her a lot at 9-2. For second, number 8, Appealing Julia, comes from the Brownfield barn. She beat Rule Like Cleopatra last start, but she had everything her own way. They set a little bit of a fast fractions up top. It wasn't really fast, 22-2, 45-2, but it was a 9-horse field that day, and most of the horses had a shot in that race. It was up and on that speed duel, including Rule Like Cleopatra. Now, Appealing Julia will get some tempo again today. I think she can stalk from the outside. That's why I used her up on the ticket along with Lusty Get Your Gun. Now, Rule Like Cleopatra, I don't think she'll be that close to the pace today. I know she's drawing the rail. You probably want to use it to lose it, but I think she needs to take back, let that pace go, and then come rolling late around the outside. I think Love the Power, obviously, be a pace setter. Old Fashioned Angel will go, and Magnetic Spot always has speed. So I look for the 3, 4, 6 to be up there battling it, the 8 and the 7 to stalk, and the 1's going to have to come around them and just be left with too much to do. For those reasons, I'm going 7, 8, 1. Now the 4th race here at the track is a maiden 3 and up claimant event, 15 down to 10. They'll go 6 furlongs. Now the 4th race is, as far as most of the horses that's ran, a couple of them in here has shown some good form, but they are taking a drop in class or coming off a layoff. There's some excuses, so I'm going to lean on a first-time starter who comes from a very good barn, Jimmy Chapman. Really good trainer, always has his horses ready. When he leads them over, they're ready to run. And I have no question that Astro Minister number 7 will be poised to pounce here at first asking. A son of astrology out of a deputy minister mare named Elrose. Elrose has shown a number of winners, and actually multiple stakes winners, including a graded stake winner. Now, Astro Minister debuts here for 15, but that doesn't bother me too much. Jimmy Chapman jams them in where he knows they're going to win. Generally, we've seen Rogue 2 do that a couple of times here at the meet. And Astro Minister, I'm going to give the slight nod over number 2, Dragster. Dragster coming in from Mahoney, where he's a beaten favorite last start. He is a 5-year-old, still a maiden, but he's lightly raced, only raced 6 times. But son of Drosselmeyer has some decency to the form. Actually broke his maiden once, but was DQ'd and placed 9th for a violation through the test barn. But that horse, number 2, Dragster, is 2-1 on the morning line. I like the horse a lot. And then number 4, a Fleet Jet. It's another first-time starter. Billy Conley does very good with firsters. We've seen one debut here on Ruby Day and won. And I'm going to use this horse. The horse I like a lot, but has drawn the rail, number 1, Camacha. I don't know what to make of that one. Has a really good form in the straight maiden ranks, but hasn't raced since June of last year, where he's beaten the Midwest Justice, who's just rattled off about 7 or 8 wins since that start. So this one's taking a class drop. That's a question mark for me. Caution light. I will use the horse, but I can't put the horse on top for that reason. I'm going 7-2-4. Now race 5 starts the late pick 4. It ends the early pick 4, and this is the toughest race on the card. And what a race for everything to go through. The pick 5 goes through it as it ends there. The early pick 4 ends here, and the late pick 4 starts here. I think you need to use as many as you can. In fact, on the pick 4 tickets, my budget allows, I'm going to hit the all button. But the pick 5, I had to go a little bit shorter. But I can make a case for every single horse in the race. And I just think it's a wide open race. And if you pick this Trier Super, I think you'll be handsomely rewarded here in race 5. I'm going to go for number 6, Late Girl. I went for two 3-year-olds facing older horses in here as my 2 top picks. Number 6, Late Girl, basically lost all chance last start, was jostled around early and got bounced around and was left with way too much to do. Gets a positive switch in jockeys today to Rodney Prescott. I'm going to give her a slight edge over number 9, Ladar. Now, McKee opts to go here for Marat Senkel. She's another the 3-year-old I spoke of. Return distance to the mile, was a winner last start. Against Late Girl, but Late Girl has beaten her the time before, you'll see. So I don't think there's a lot separating those two. It's just going to be how the pace sets up, I believe. And this race doesn't have a great deal of pace, but has enough to set up for the late running styles. I don't think the speed will carry in this race. And one of those speed horses I expect to be closer to the lead is number 2, my 3rd choice, Morgan's David, on the stretch out here for Tommy Short. And Abel Lascano takes over the riding services. This one was beaten to Pinotage last start, who we'll see in here coming up on Saturday in a 15-3. He's going to be the 2nd or 3rd choice in that race, I think. But she's daughter Alana David on the stretch out. I think should be forwardly placed. And that I'm going 6-9-2 in race number 5. In the 6th race, it's an open 12-5 down to 10-5 claimant event to go 6 furlongs. There are several scratches in here. In fact, the field has been reduced to 4 horses as numbers 4, 6, and 7 are all withdrawn. And I ended up going with number 5, Copper Plate, as the top pick, just because I think Disorderly Conduct is a good horse, but I don't think today's the day. I mean, maybe the horse can win at 6 furlongs, but has never done so in 15 starts, but has been 2nd 4 times and 3rd 4 times. But I think this is just a tightener. I mean, I know they'll be obviously trying, but I think this horse is much better suited at the route distance, and I expect to see this horse early on in the Indiana Downs meet at a route distance, maybe even Keeneland. But I don't think that at the short distance today the horse can get it done. For those reasons, I went for number 5, Copper Plate, for the Pocket Aces Racing. The horse is in for 12-5. The horse has been knocking at the door the last few starts, but I think the horse has been begging for a drop and finally drops in last start for 15. And had to run into a buzzsaw named Forerun. And Copper Plate, I think, gets paid tonight for the 8th time in his career. Number 3, Disorderly Conduct, I briefly spoke about him. I think he's much better suited at the route distance. Hasn't raced since October when being claimed up in Indiana, but does show a good series of work patterns here. Most recently, a 5/8 in 101 breezing from the pole. And then for 3rd, number 2, Hugh B. I think he's the best of the rest. Now the 7th race at the track, it is allowance event and a really good talented field here to go postward to start the late daily double. There are a couple of scratches. The 1A, 2, and 5 are all out. Now, I was in between the 1 and the 6. I could have went with either one. I ended up leaning on number 6, Giant Honor. Pat Huffman's crushing at the meet. He's winning at least 33%, I think. And this horse was in a first level allowance race when 8th beaten 6 lengths, and Malcolm Franklin gets back up in the attack here. The horse broke its maiden here, was a dominant winner, and should be up forwardly placed, I think, especially coming off the layoff. Now this one I do think is another one I like in the previous race with Disorderly Conduct, is much better suited at a further distance, but 6.5 furlongs, I think the horse can get up. And on the debut, I know Pat Huffman will have this horse ready. Had a bullet 2 back at High Point, and will be raring to go at 9-2. I expect those odds to come down. There are a couple of scratches in the race. And number 1, Good. I don't mind that his stablemate was scratched, but Good's son of Quality Road, and I think he's good enough to get it done in here. Has been facing Stakes Company since breaking his maiden on debut at Gulfstream last year in July. Ran a really good number that day. Came back in the Skidmore at Saratoga. That's a 2-year-old sprint stake on the turf, and was 3rd beaten 4 lengths and ran a really good race. Came back in the Kentucky Downs Juvenile on the stretch out, was 9th beaten 12 lengths. They tried him again going long in a race scheduled for the turf. That race came off the turf, and the horse didn't fare that well, was well beaten. Hasn't raced since then. Comes back to the 6.5 furlong distance. I think this horse is very versatile, and Calumet Farm sends this one out under the tutelage of Jack Sisterson, my 2nd choice. For third, I went for K-Choice, 102 Ben Colebrook trains. This one's owned by the Korean Racing Authority Stud Farm, and this is another one exiting Stakes Company. Has been well beaten in each of his last 2 starts, but that was against much tougher than anything in this race. You'll go back 3 starts back. Gabe Keane, the horse, broke his maiden in a really good race and faced some good foes there. 9-2 on the morning line. That's going to be my third choice, 617, here in race 7 from Turfway. Now the 8th race is a maiden filly and mare $5,000 claimant event to go a mile. Take out part of the entry, the 1 Laughing Water. Now in this race, number 9 Easy Bonus has been knocking at the door. In fact, the last 4 times was right at the door but couldn't get it to open, where he's been second each of his last 4 starts. So 4 Turfway starts, 4 seconds, and I think the horse has found the easiest bunch. You know, last start, he kind of made a middle move, which he does sometimes, and hung. I thought he was a winner turning from, but I also thought that 3 back, and he just kind of hangs late. But return distance to the 6 furlongs. That was making his last start was making a race off of about 6 weeks layoff, I think, and I look for him to move forward. She is well drawn to the outside. I'm putting her on top for second. I'm going to use a first-time starter. Now, I know it's an Ohio bred, but it comes from a very good barn. She has some breeding. She's by It's My Lucky Day out of a Street Cry mare. I think when this one gets across the river later on in this year, I think she'll be tough over there. But this one's from the Kellen Gorder stable, also owned by Karen Gorder. Gets leading jockey Luan Machado, and I think if she can run at all, she'll be on the ticket here. For third, number 7, Divine Diva. She ran against my top pick last start. In fact, was right behind her where she finished third. I look for this one to be on the ticket, 3-1. You got to use the horse. Alexis Cordero Lopez doing very well at the meet. First time he's ever raced here at Turfway, and has put on a very good show where he's been almost 50% in the money here at the track. So I'm going 9-1A7 in race number 8. So that's the 8 races for this Thursday card here at Turfway. The Pick 5's coming up in just about 33 minutes. Don't forget that $6,609 carryover here in our Pick 5. Tomorrow at the track, don't forget, Deviate will be in the house, rocking the stage. They go on about 9:30. We have dollar beers, dollar dogs, dollar bets tomorrow. Also, that Aqueduct carryover you can bet here at the track tomorrow. Of course, Girls Night on Saturdays here at the track. And then we wrap things up next week. And next Saturday is Fan Appreciation Night. If you want to come out, that we'll be having a TV giveaway and mystery vouchers giveaway as well, a $200 to $500 voucher giveaway. And also that same day, the Turfway Polytrack Puppy Party returns. If you want to learn more about that, go to turfwaypark.com. First race up in 33 minutes. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck.